Hello, and welcome back to Lloyd and JD's podcast, the best fucking podcast in the world. I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
And this is...
I am Sage.
Sage.
Rhoades.
Sage.
Rhoades, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Sage
Sage
Rhoades.
Rhoades, yeah.
But we were talking about Sage, which is why
Right,
you
yeah.
only said Sage.
I was stuck on Sage.
That's fine. That's fine. So you're a singer, right?
I am a singer, yeah. That's
So-
why I'm so hoarse.
You have a band too, though.
I have a band, yeah.
Okay.
So we're Sage Rhoades and Veto.
And Veto, so your band's Veto.
Yes.
What does Veto
Yeah.
mean?
Means the power say no,
Okay.
right?
So,
So if somebody says, you say no.
okay.
Kind of,
down
that's
with
kind
that.
of what it
Yeah.
means, really. In
power say
only
no.
usually at higher
Okay.
levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're a four-piece?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I sing and occasionally play the acoustic, and
Right.
we got the other three pieces.
Yeah.
So you
They
got some
didn't
major
show up
pipes?
today.
You got some major pipes then?
Oh, I try. Today I don't. Like they're kind
Well,
of.
they would have been sitting off camera anyways. So.
Yeah.
we only usually
yeah.
have one, maybe two on, so it's all good anyways.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Say no. So what kind of music are you into? What kind of music you singing?
It's rock. At the very core of it, right? Like, you know, you ask original artists that a lot of time, they're like, well, it's a little this, a little that. I say it's grunge rock.
Okay, well, if you give me an idea of something that already exists that you try to follow. And,
I don't try to follow.
You don't. You're
anything.
literally just weaving
I
in between
yeah,
everything else.
I write what I hear, think, feel, whatever.
So when you say grunge rock, I mean, are you looking specifically, are you, a kid from the 90s? Like, is that where your majority of your musical influence was coming from? Because, I mean, that's a term that's synonymous with, the Seattle sound. The guys
yeah.
like Soundgarden, with Pearl Jam, with, Temple the Dog, all these
Other
kind
Pearl
of
Jam
guys.
tattoo.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. So
Honestly,
I'm
I don't know if I could say like I'm heavily influenced anywhere, just because I started writing when I was 12, and
Right.
so I hear stuff, and I of course had some favorite artists in that, but
So if you had to give yourself a genre, you just gave yourself one, basically.
yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I also write ballads and kind of do
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
folky stuff that maybe down the road a little bit I might tap
Same
into
with
that a
me
little
as
bit
Lloyd.
more.
I never really. I'm all over the place.
Yeah. So you said you have some favorite artists. Who are they?
Sheryl Crow actually has been
Sheryl
one of
Crow,
my
okay.
one of my top favorites, and I like groups like we do some of it with Veto, like the Audio Slave and
Audio
Nirvana,
Slave. Okay.
and do a little bit of like 9 Inch Nails. Like
I know
Right.
who these bands are.
Yeah.
Wow.
There.
He's usually the music guy, but I'm right here with you guys. I know where we're at.
But you do your own stuff. I mean, you've got, as far as I know, you've got 3 songs that you've got out that are pretty readily available.
Yeah, and those kind of old school now, which is kind of sad to say, but we're working on a CD right now that should be out February, we're hoping.
Okay.
So that's real soon.
Yeah, my guitarist and I are kind of passing it back and forth and working on the production of it.
Right.
And there's 14 songs on it, so it's been a bit
Now
of
are
a
you
task.
self-producing? Or are you in a studio?
We're between my studio and Peter's studio.
Okay.
The guitarist. Yeah, he's somewhat of a session player, I guess
Right,
you could say. Like
right.
he works anyways, constantly music.
Yeah.
And so he writes stuff for other people. Like he's on
Right.
there,
Okay, so he
does
writes
that.
other people's songs.
Well, he does.
And,
he
and
does
he's recording
recordings.
tracks for others?
Other people, yeah.
So he's backing tracks for a lot of people. Okay.
So yeah, so
Sounds like an
between the
awesome
two
job.
of us.
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
It's a
I
great
knew you
job
guys
for
would do that.
musicians. I mean, sometimes, and correct
like
me if
drawing
I'm wrong,
pictures for another artist.
musicians, it's a hard go. Sometimes doing the things like writing jingles, writing, basically backtracks, performing on other people's albums, all those kind of things help pay the bills, to do things like produce your own album
Well, it's
and
smart,
get it
isn't
out. Yeah, well, it's very smart.
Also use the fact that you can play guitar and
Yeah.
make up songs.
And then you're still making music and you're still, essentially practicing and playing versus going to 9-to-5 job and then going in.
And trying to do it,
Yeah.
it's tough.
So you're a full-time musician, 100%, or
I guess you could say that right now.
Yeah.
I'm unemployed at the moment, so I guess I am, right?
you're employed as a musician? So.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the life.
The pay is a little bit,
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean,
It's a tough
it's as always. We've had the conversation before. A lot of times, people like come play for us, play for the exposure. You can't buy groceries with exposure. Unfortunately, they kind of laugh when you go to the till and say, "Hey, I got all this exposure for you."
No, but you can steal groceries and still get your exposure. So I'm just going to put that over there. I've had to put steaks down my pants, not once, twice.
You can't starve.
Yeah. Exactly, right? You're still gonna make
exactly.
music. I need this beef. I'll pay you back when I'm rich, man. Calm down.
I'm a musician.
Yeah, I'm not stealing. I'm like renting. I'm like taking it for a bit, giving it back later.
I'm borrowing.
Borrowing.
Yeah,
Borrowing.
Leasing.
Sorry, that word doesn't mean much to me, but if you've ever lent me something, it's gone. Oh, carry on.
Yeah. So, full album, EP,
We're doing a full one, 14 songs.
14 songs.
Yeah.
So how much you got done to this point?
14 songs. That's a lot of songs.
It's a good song.
lot of songs, yeah.
Because usually, I know we've had a lot of people on the show. It's like 7 songs,
Yeah.
6 songs.
Which probably would have been the
14
smartest
songs.
thing
That's
to do.
Yeah.
a
but
lot of work, no?
It is a lot of work, yeah. So it's been taking us a little while, but it's kind of, most of the material is all kind of in the same vein of what I've been talking about. So I kind of wanted to keep them there so that the next album would be something a little bit new, a little bit different, right?
Are all
So-
the songs somewhat from your life, your background? Like, they
it's
mean a
stuff
lot
that,
to you?
Yeah, and stuff that, I picked up and learned from experiences and maybe saw again and learned again and,
And then I saw it again.
And again, I saw, okay, now I'm pissed.
I got a couple albums wrapped up in here.
Yeah.
It's like when guys go to prison, his next album's going to be pretty good. You know what I mean? He sat in a box for a few hours. He's got some shit to lay down. He's got some beef.
It's true.
Best songs come from beef.
So you've been writing since you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you written everything for this album, or
couldn't
what's the
spell when I
process
was
essentially
12.
look like for you guys?
With this album, we, I started off as Sage Rhoades. I've got all this music and I needed a band if I'm going to get out and get playing, right? So I brought to the band what I had done and what I normally do. The majority of the stuff, I've got a little drum machine home, so I'll put a drum track on, play bass on it, play some.
You play
drop
bass
down.
too?
Yeah, drop it down and play the
Look,
guitar
another
on
bass
there.
player. So we could have a band right now. The Free Bassists.
Well,
like the Free Musketeers.
Always expanding.
I know, right? Last week we had a band called, what was it?
Two basses.
Two bass or double bass.
Double bass.
Yeah, double bass. That was it.
I don't call myself a bass player, but I play
Neither do
well
I.
enough to
I just
put it
learned
on
it.
there.
Neither do I. So
Yeah, it's the only instrument my parents ever allowed me to learn because it was kind of quiet. I'd play it when
It's fun. It's probably one of my favorites.
yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
No?
I was always a drummer, but they wouldn't let me have one. So it was like that instrument they just palmed me off
Well,
with.
you're a little too hyper for the bass.
Here's a bass. Like,
Yeah.
that's not what I wanted.
It's the most relaxing thing I can think of to do. Is to play
Yeah.
bass.
I can think of some really other things that are super relaxing other than play bass. We can talk about those another time, but they're pretty good. So how did you meet your band? Did you know them beforehand, or was this like searching for a band? I just need someone, and it ended up being a good fit.
I started this spring will be 3 years.
Because Kijiji for a lot of people is an amazing place to meet people.
First of all, I put a Kijiji ad out, and I ended up with a phenomenal bass player called Raja.
So lucky because sometimes you can get serial killers off Kijiji. So
That's true.
you do take.
I was lucky. I didn't.
You do roll the dice.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
have to be
dead
careful
yet.
not to
I
post
went-
in the
I went
serial
to look at a
killer
fish tank.
section versus the musicians.
I went to look
wanted.
at a fish tank and I took a knife. I'm not joking. Just in case.
Just in case.
I don't know. Who sells a fish tank at this time of night? It's fucking weird. Right? Who buys one at night? He must have been like,
Yeah,
who the
he
fuck
was
is
sketched
this?
out, too.
It's 11 p.m. He's buying a fish
He
tank.
went home. He's like, pretty sure that guy had a knife.
And you know what makes it even funnier? They were throwing knives and I had 3 of them. Were you there for that? You might have been. I don't know. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, so I found him, and then I had a drummer at the very beginning. We were kind of trying to do stuff. He was getting a little frustrated with some of my stuff, and I started working in a warehouse, and the young guy that was there is always air drumming, and I'm like, well, do you drum? And he's like 18 years old, right? He goes, well, I just on my thing home with my buddies or whatever. So I said, well, why don't you come down and just for a jam, like maybe you could be the backup guy or whatever. But he came out and he was complete natural talent, had
what
a
the fuck?
feel for the music.
That happens so often.
Yeah, kind of nervous at first, a little, a little
We've had singers on
self-destruct.
here that like I'd never sang in my life, and then I just went up and I was just like, amazing. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah, I can't play anything at all. I've tried.
Yeah, no, he's just kind of played
You're born
around.
with it sometimes.
Yeah, well, and he had played a rock band or whatever it was when he was young, and
Rock band, see?
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
was
about.
never good at Rock Band, Jordan.
Made him really good at the click track.
Well, we used to play Rock Band hardcore.
And ironically enough, if you talk to some drummers that record that click track, if they've never been in a studio, messes them up.
Yeah.
You know,
really,
it's, you know, the bing, the bing.
Yeah.
Messes
Yeah.
them up. They're,
and
completely
Connor,
out of.
He was worried about it, but he got in there and he was just playing with. Yeah.
Hard video game training.
Yeah.
But then,
really hard video game training.
when I did play drums, when I was allowed for the short period of time in my life, I did pick it up quite quick.
Yeah.
But then it was taken away from me, stripped from my life, and I was given a bass.
Yeah.
You're too hyper for the bass.
There's a lot of resentment there for bass.
Yeah. Don't want to.
I learned a lot of Bob Marley songs and smoked up just to get back at my parents, so whatever.
So, bassist from Kijiji. You got your drummer finding him air drumming at work.
Yeah.
And you got a guitarist as well.
The guitarist was a friend of my boyfriend, Sean Tiedemann.
Okay.
And he said, Jeremy's a wicked player, so we called him in. And he played with us for...
Was he your boyfriend when he started in the band?
Jeremy's not my boyfriend. Sean's my boyfriend.
Okay, sorry.
And Sean knew Jeremy, my player. Yeah.
I was going to say, was there like connection in the band or something? Fireworks,
No, and Sean's a guitar player as well.
Oh,
but
okay.
we just decided it's better to keep all that separate.
Yeah, it is.
And he's not really into the original thing, so he does his...
Don't work with family.
He's got his Kiss tribute icons. You've probably heard of it.
Yep.
Livewire, Motley Crue. Yeah, so that's his bag. He really likes doing that. He's great at it. So we decided to just keep those separate. But
good bands.
Yeah. So, but then, Jeremy, he played with us for over a year. And I decided to bring in a second guitarist. And then Jeremy wasn't having fun anymore, so it was like gone. And then we lost that guitarist, and we went through a bit of a turnover.
Contest?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Whose solos were better?
Yeah, I think the other guy was kind of like
two solos going on.
Yeah, I can't say too much on that.
That's okay. That's fine. Some shit went
we
down.
ended up kind of going through a few different guitarists, and I finally put an ad out on Kijiji and auditioned. So I had an audition.
I've always wanted to be there for that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like live top of the pop. Well, when you get the crappies come in, and some of them are good and some of them are pants, but that's the best thing about it. Who's coming on next? I don't know.
Yeah. So
did you get some really pants ones?
We got.
Be honest. I won't name names.
Pants? Is that
like crap? Yeah, like you watch them and you're like, oh my god, why did you come to this audition? Like that bad.
The first guy that came in, he was young and he was an Asian guy, and I walked in with he was like all wet and everything, right? Nervous.
Just sweating.
Poor guy. Yeah, sweet as can be, like bowed to us and stuff. But he wasn't quite ready. He's somebody that.
Did he hold his ear?
No. He was. Sorry. I think. Down the road he'd be very good, right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't ready for.
Everyone down the road's good,
Yeah,
practice makes perfect.
He had some talent, but just not ready for what we were throwing at him. So, but then Peter came in, the guy that we have now, Peter X Anthony, and wicked. Like we decided on him, a wicked player.
It's a luck of the draw too, going to an audition, isn't it? If the geezer before you flunked it, you're gonna look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then sometimes the geezer in front of you was pretty good too. So now you're like, oh man.
He was the guy that came in before Peter actually was very good. His name is Taylor.
See, I'd have been crapping myself in the back room then.
Yeah, he was good, but there's a real difference in players. Like Taylor was like very, very technically perfect, on the. Whereas with Peter, he's just he's like just playing. He's kind of more playing from the heart a little bit, if you want to put like very much that way. And that to me, he was my player then, right? Like because that's the way I am. So and the way we are as a band, I wouldn't say we're not highly technical.
Yeah.
So. You got to be a little bit, otherwise.
But I mean, that's what makes musicians. I mean, you can go to places, and it's always interesting to go to somewhere like the Blues Can and watch like an open mic night where guys will get on, and some guy you can tell he has practiced that song in his basement, for the last 6, and he's all about that song, stage presence, stuff like that. But then it kind of cuts off. You have guys that are not technically great stage presence, but they still sound great, and you've got guys that are technically good are just absolutely boring to watch. They're great studio musicians, but they're not great stage
It's like being book smart. It's like being book smart or something, and then being crap at it in practice. You know what I mean?
And if you're going to produce an album and tour as a band, you need sort of that whole package, right? I mean, you can't have you've got to have some soul, you've got to have some technical stuff, but you also have to have a presence, because if you're just as they call them, shoegazer. you know, you're not gonna be terribly exciting. Although there is
Which
a place in the world for shoegazer bands.
Because I was that bass player.
Yeah.
What do you want me to play? Yeah, all right, yeah, I'm doing it. What do you want?
Yeah, so it's good to listen to, you know. But like you said, like live, you need that, and the band needs to be able to work together and kind of gel too, right? So that's the tricky part of it.
Yeah,
you know, is getting players that everybody likes each other and works good together. And
when
you
you're
know,
doing something like that, there's always drama.
Yeah, and you know, if somebody can say, hey, you know, that let's not do it that way, let's do it this way, it'll sound better, and the other person's not getting all offended. And you know, like us musicians, we have like pretty fragile egos, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like bipolar, so you know, you never know what the fuck you're getting from me.
But you are putting it out there.
Could be
right?
happy, could be sad.
Yeah.
I'm very bipolar that way. I'd be horrible to work with in a band. I know.
So when you all got together, you obviously named the band Sage Rhoades and Veto. You kept it, you know, sort of like two entities because of your work beforehand. Was sort of the idea behind
like
it?
Bob Marley and the
to
Wailers.
keep your fan base before and, you know, obviously, you know, build upon.
I had built Sage Rhoades as a fan page. I was thinking like kind of following the Sheryl Crow prototype, right? Like, you know, she's always got players, but she just kept her solo artist identity.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm writing. I've written probably at least another 200 songs.
And that's what I always get from it. When I hear a band where you get the name first and then there's a name for the band, I always get that she's written the songs, she's singing the songs. They're her songs.
And it started there, right? And I built up all my promotions and stuff, like in my page and my entity that way. But what we did is we had an original act for quite a while, and then last year we decided, well, let's add a bunch of covers to this.
Right.
Then we can go play for money, actually, instead of having to, you know, be doing ticket sales all the time, right?
Right.
So carry a full night. So what we do, like what we did last night at the Border Crossing, was we play all 14 of the originals, but we've added the rest of the time is all covers.
Right.
And
that's great for you guys too, because you get the guys that like the covers and like the other music, and then they hear your original stuff mixed in.
It mixed in, yeah, and it works very well.
It brings more people to you guys. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have the Path Less Traveled on here.
They do,
a fair
they
bit,
do the
and
same
Scott
thing.
Bennett. They have a very similar format, although it is a ticketed sale kind of thing where they will all choose a band to cover that has influenced them in the past, and then basically they interject their original music.
And their original is always better.
And I was just going to say
because it's their original.
Yeah.
They built that song, so when they play the original, you see an amazing difference, and it's amazing for their CDs.
Yeah.
You hear everyone around saying, "Wow."
Yeah. I always find with covers that, you know, it's you get some people that do some phenomenal covers. However, most of the time, you know, it's good still. I mean, it's entertaining to listen to live music, but it's always people's original stuff. I always find that much better because they poured so much more into it.
Self-consciously, it comes out better.
Yeah, and nobody knows that original music better than yourself as a musician, right? So I mean, you know, and you know what you want to get across and all those kind of things. So I mean, they always come across so much better.
And they stay for the original. Yeah. That's what you're
doing. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Well, they got up and down stars, so that's
that's good.
That's cool. Yeah.
See, we talked about this last time. I'm not a dancer.
Yeah.
I'm the guy at the back that looks like he's really not enjoying the show. Like someone dragged him here, but I'm not. You know, I'm enjoying it. This is good. Inside, I've got a smile on, but inside, no.
Yeah.
Running out?
No. We're only at 18 minutes. It just keeps on turning off. That's all.
Oh, okay. No, we got camera guy, man.
Yeah. I always forget.
Jordie's got shit covered, man.
Sometimes.
Literally.
Sometimes.
Once in a while.
Yeah, literally. Flaky.
So again, your album's coming out
in February. I really hesitate to put an exact date on it because it's too much pressure, but we're aiming.
So is it out getting produced? Like, is it out now? Like, you obviously must have the masters done, and it must be.
It's a secret, man.
Yeah. Oh no, we're still working on it.
Oh, you're still working on it?
Yeah, we're in the process of it, like between, and I don't even know because Peter's working on stuff, like all the different songs as we're going along, right? So I'm not even sure exactly how far he is on everything. But once that's all done, it's just my vocals, and we're producing it. Like, so we're doing the last mix, and we're not decided what we're doing for mastering, but
it's fucking happening.
Yeah. But so we'll have it done as we can like be loading it online and that, right?
Oh, okay. So you're going to do an online basically download before you ever do a physical release.
Yeah, I think so, because it probably, in reality, by the time you put it into CD Baby or into TuneCore and that, it takes a little while for them to reproduce it and then get it up in, into iTunes.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Where are you online?
Where am I?
Online, yeah.
Yeah, where can people find you?
iTunes? Are you in, what's that one? Bandcamp?
SoundCloud.
You see a lot of Bandcamps.
Actually, the three that we put out before, we're on iTunes. My own company is on a CD and that, like through the UK there, it's on that great big 6 CD compilation I did.
That's where I'm from.
The UK, that's good.
Nobody knows that.
I used to live there.
And the other two, I put them up through TuneCore, and so they put them out. It's on iTunes and Amazon, Spotify, like a bunch of those different ones, right? You can find that there. Right.
Are you big into the Spotify thing?
I don't even barely know how it works. Like I'm not.
Spotify is basically a streaming service.
There's so many streaming services now.
Well, I know, and you get paid so little for each play that I think that basically the last person I know that got a royalty check from there in a fairly decent band. No. Like that actually, has a few albums underneath their belt, and it was, they could buy, McDonald's lunch for them all.
You ate. Stop bitching. You know what I mean? Yeah. People these fucking days. I know. Enjoy your fucking burger, prick.
But there's kind of a weird balance too, because if people are just listening to your stuff streaming and not buying it, it's really kind of,
I can do that on iTunes. I can just play the clip over and over again. I'm getting the song. That's the chorus, I think.
Yeah, but, for a whole 99 cents, you can get the entire song. And, I mean, they still take their whatever 35% or 30% cut. But, it's still not, 1/100th of a cent for each play, right?
Yeah, that's not cool.
Well, I've talked to different people. And really, the way the music scene has all changed, and the money.
Steal so much music,
Yeah, well, and there's just so much music that if you try to make money by selling CDs, you're not going to get anywhere. Even selling it like $1 on iTunes, or whatever, the money isn't made in selling CDs. At home, right? So I was actually talking to Jeff Neal from Streetheart, and he's like old school from that time period, but he understands how it's changed. He is not bucking it or whatever. And there is not really much money at all in CD sales. Yeah. He said basically it's like a business card.
I haven't bought a CD. Right? I haven't bought a CD in years.
Yeah. Man. You allow people, here's my song, and just, you pretty much need to be thankful if they take a listen to it, right? It's your business card for them to come to your shows and buy merch and pay for a show.
Well, CDs could be part of that merch in the show.
Yeah, but when I saw HMV was still up, I was flabbergasted.
Yeah, because some people still do like to buy CDs. It's a collection.
Yeah. Well, I still buy records. I will buy an album if it's on vinyl.
More clutter in my home because I don't have enough.
I will buy it if it's on vinyl. I typically do not buy CDs whatsoever.
Yeah, you're a vinyl fiend.
Yeah, I am a vinyl fiend.
He's always in that vinyl store. He's like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, all the time, every week.
Okay, but what upcoming shows do you have?
What upcoming shows do we have?
If you have anything.
I should have actually reviewed that. Oh, no, we've been playing lots, actually. Okay. But I believe April 15th is the next one at the border crossing that we have booked. And I'm looking at getting us out of town so that, because our fans are, I think, getting a little tired because we've been playing quite a bit. We played Morgan's last Sunday.
Cool.
And Peter and I are doing a little duet kind of over at the TNC a little bit this year.
Let's do it.
The TNC and the Pyramid Lounge, so that's really cool. But I do want to get us like up to Edmonton, Red Deer, down south to Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, and
start a little bit of an Alberta tour, maybe.
Yeah, even just a weekend here, weekend out there, and that just to build up a bigger fan base, and also just to give the fans here in the city a little break. Because they're diehard fans. They're good. They're great.
So you have your Facebook for the band?
Pardon me?
Do you have a Facebook for your band?
Absolutely.
Okay, so everyone can find you on Facebook?
Yeah, under Sage Rhoades, or for the band that I've kind of got another page set up for Sage Rhoades and Veto.
Okay. So either or.
We will obviously share the links below the video like usual. We've always got every band that is on the show is down below. Awesome. So people can always find you quick and easy. And there'll probably be a link on Lloyd and JD Facebook page at some point in time.
Yep. Usually the
So I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Lloyd.
I'm JD.
And I'm Sage Rhoades.
Peace.
See ya.
Oh.